Have you ever been lying there with your partner, wanting nothing more than to give her pleasure, but no matter what you tried, it felt like hitting a wall? Maybe you were working hard. You were applying every technique you knew. You were kissing, touching, moving, but she wasn't warming up. Her body language remained distant. Her breathing didn't change, and suddenly you felt it. That creeping sense of panic. You felt rushed. You felt trapped in your own head, wondering, is this even working? Does she even want this? And then the worst part sets in. The pressure, the frustration, the feeling that maybe you're just not good at this. I want you to stop right there. Look at me. You are not alone. And more importantly, this is not a failure unique to you. In fact, almost every single man I have worked with in my career, whether they came to me for performance anxiety, erectile health issues, or just a genuine desire to fix a crumbling marriage, has asked me the exact same question. And usually they ask it with a hint of desperation in their voice. They ask, "Doctor, what is the one kind of foreplay that actually works? What is the thing that never fails?" I am a practicing urologist, and for the past 12 years, I have specialized in men's health and the complex emotional and physical components of sexual wellness for couples. I have seen the full spectrum of intimacy challenges, and what I can tell you with absolute certainty is this. There is a method. There is a reliable framework that works for almost every woman's physiology. This isn't about some obscure sex trick you saw in a magazine. It's not a hack. It is a holistic approach that simultaneously addresses the biological and the emotional architecture of female arousal. Not only does it build physical arousal reliably, but crucially, it makes her feel deeply connected, profoundly safe, and truly desired. And those three things, they are non-negotiable. Without them, a woman's body physically cannot engage in pleasure. Here's the best part. It's not complicated. It doesn't require hours of exhausting effort. And when you execute it with presence and intention, it provides a consistent path to pleasure every single time. In today's comprehensive guide, we are going to fix this. I'm going to walk you step by step through the 4 biggest mistakes men make during foreplay, mistakes that actually turn a woman's body off. And then I'm going to teach you the technique that never fails, the full body to body flow. We will explore exactly what it is, how to execute it, and the advanced strategies to personalize it for your partner. But before we dive into the substance of this method, please take a second to hit that like button. It helps other men who are quietly struggling with this to find this video. And drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing the community we are building here. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the real actionable solutions we post here every week. Let's get started with a truth that most men never hear, yet is the foundation of everything we are about to discuss. Foreplay is not about shortcuts. It is not about memorizing a cheat code. If you are trying to find the one button to press that magically switches her on, you are going to fail. Why? Because female arousal doesn't begin in a single isolated place. It starts across her entire body. And perhaps most importantly, it starts in her mind and her emotional landscape. If you try to jump straight into one specific area, whether it's her breasts, her genitals, or even her mind through aggressive dirty talk, you are fundamentally skipping the natural sequential process of how female arousal truly works. Here is the essential understanding you need to have. The female arousal system is bi-modal. That means it requires 2 primary conditions to be met for full engagement. Condition 1 is physical stimulation. This is the tactile input necessary to flood the nervous system. Condition 2 is emotional safety and connection. If she doesn't feel safe, if she doesn't feel cared for, truly seen, or deeply desired as a whole person, her body activates the sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight response. When she is in a state of subtle tension, anxiety, or pressure, her body is biologically wired to shut down non-essential functions. And guess what the first thing to get shut down is? The sexual response. This is why the common foreplay moves so many men rely on often fail. They are purely physical. They completely ignore the foundational need for emotional context. You are trying to start a fire, but you haven't opened the flue to let the smoke out. You choke the flame before it starts. I've spent 12 years working closely with men and couples. I've seen everything, and I've learned that real solutions aren't about pills. They are about refined technique. Before I show you the body-to-body flow, we have to clear out the bad habits. These are the 4 mistakes almost every man makes. If you are doing these even a little bit, you are inadvertently holding her back. Mistake number 1, jumping straight to oral sex. I know, many men consider this the ultimate move. You think it's a declaration of intent. You think it's the fastest path to her climax. But here's the clinical reality. Oral sex should be a bridge, not the warm-up. If she isn't already significantly aroused, her genital tissues aren't yet engorged. They aren't lubricated. They aren't neurologically sensitive yet. Trying to stimulate the clitoris or the vulva when her body hasn't biologically prepared for it doesn't feel good. It feels like pressure. Or worse, she feels nothing at all. Because the nervous system hasn't been flooded with sensation yet, that highly localized stimulation isn't registering as pleasure. It leaves her feeling detached, lying there waiting for it to feel good, which creates anxiety. Think about it like a car engine on a freezing cold morning. You're trying to redline it to 5,000 RPMs before the oil has even warmed up. It doesn't flow, it grinds. Oral sex is powerful, but only when the foundation is built. Starting there puts pressure on the most sensitive spot before the rest of the body has voted yes. Mistake number 2, relying on gentle, faint touching. Many men trying to be romantic or gentle resort to these incredibly light strokes, soft caresses, fingertip traces. The intention is good. You want to show tenderness. But here is the physiology. If the touch is too light, it fails to register in the somatosensory cortex of the brain as arousal. Too light often feels ticklish. It can feel irritating, like a fly landing on your skin. It puts her body in a fidget state, not a pleasure state. Furthermore, faint touch communicates hesitation. It unconsciously signals a lack of confidence. On the flip side, if you are too rough or grabby, you break safety. You need the Goldilocks touch. Arousal touch needs to be alive. It needs to be responsive. It needs enough pressure to penetrate the superficial layer of the skin and stimulate the deeper pressure receptors. It needs to convey a clear message. I desire you, and I am focused. Random faint strokes do not engage the body. They keep her passive. Mistake number 3, using massage as foreplay and stopping there. Now let me be clear. A massage is wonderful. It reduces cortisol, it relaxes muscles, but relaxation is a different neurological state than arousal. Massage engages the parasympathetic system for calmness and recovery. It slows the body down. It eases her out of her workday. This often leaves her feeling sleepy. Arousal requires excitement. It requires a shift from calming touch to intentional, escalating touch. The mistake is spending 20 minutes in spa mode. You rub her back, she feels great, and then she falls asleep. You didn't light the spark, you put out the lights. The touch needs to transition. It has to move from "you are safe and relaxed" to "I desire you completely, and I am here to explore your pleasure." And finally, mistake number 4, over-relying on mental stimulation. Dirty talk, teasing, staging a fantasy, these are great tools, but if you rely only on them, you keep her trapped in her head. True, powerful female arousal is not a thought process. It is a somatic, physical awakening. It is an electrical event that has to course through the nerves, not just an idea she agrees with intellectually. If you stay in her head, telling